Any informational act of terrorism carries lies, manipulation, and incitement to hatred or violence. By means of informational terrorist attacks, the enemy instills destructive beliefs into your subconsciousness, filling you with fear and eroding your patriotism. How does this happen? First, you witness an informational attack in mass media. It can be about anything. For example, a story with false accusations against individuals, whether they are politicians, business people, believers, or supporters of some political parties.
Accused of
facing persecution.
People have been arrested.
Get arrested.
It's a human rights violation.
Human rights violation of our generation.
Human rights violation. And systematic violation of human rights.
On the one hand, you trust the media that broadcasts this story. But on the other hand, you understand that the accusations are baseless and violate the presumption of innocence. This causes an inner conflict in you, robbing you of peace and a sense of security. You start fearing that you might be the next to have your rights violated. You subconsciously realize that if the laws fail to protect someone, they won't protect you next time either. The fact that authorities either break the law or fail to respond to its violation means only one thing to you: that authorities support those violations, which generates fear and distrust. An individual who observes it all goes through several stages of reaction. First stress and rejection, and then hatred towards the authorities. The final stage is a loss of patriotism, because he doesn't understand why he should defend a state that doesn't protect him. The person decides to defend only himself. He makes the following conclusion: I witnessed a crime on national television. Authorities are idle and support this crime, which means they intentionally break the laws and are behind those violations. Authorities want to deprive me of my legal rights and freedoms, hence they are a threat to me. People always strive to eliminate the source of their constant stress and fear. As a result, when authorities become an enemy to the people, people express their distrust and protest through demonstrations and strikes, which lead to revolutions. However, even after a change in the government, the situation does not resolve, and an individual continues to experience severe stress. Because, regardless of the party affiliation of the new government, the enemy of the democratic world remains in the shadows, continuing its informational terrorist attacks, and the whole cycle begins anew. Informational terrorism will always target current authorities in order to destabilize society and weaken the constitutional order in a chosen democratic country through the actions of its own people. In addition, the enemy of democracy simultaneously carries out numerous informational terrorist attacks aimed at dividing citizens among themselves. The enemy incites hostility and hatred in society by first dividing, then pitting various groups against each other, and broadcasting this conflict through the media, manipulating human consciousness in this way. The enemy forces you to believe that you, the citizens in this country, are enemies to each other through acts of xenophobia, extremism, and terrorism. The enemy artificially generates hatred towards a chosen group of people, nationality, race, or community, embedding a lasting negative perception of them in your subconscious. Globally, the enemy's actions lead to a situation where, due to continuous internal destabilization, social order gives way to chaos, and democratic laws cease to function. Ultimately, this most often results in civil war, which completely destroys what was once a free country. This is precisely what the enemy of democracy aims for, as it thus gains more power and brings closer global totalitarianism. The most alarming thing is that the enemy accomplishes it, all through your actions, merely by instilling the necessary beliefs. For this very reason, informational and psychological terrorist attacks are more terrifying than physical ones, for they directly influence your subconsciousness, bypassing critical thinking. Thus, when destroying your own country, you will believe that you act for the benefit, consciously, and according to your inner convictions.